So when all of this, started happening, immediately everyone started to, do stuff about it. People were delivering meals, making masks, all of that. I wanted to do something, but I mean, I'm 17 and I can't necessarily make a ton of meals and send them out to a bunch of people. And I wanted it to be easy, so that's why I decided on ribbons. My dad works in healthcare, so the conversation has been very prevalent in our household regarding everything that's been going on. So I knew that I wanted to recognize the healthcare workers in some way. So I decided to, start Ribbons of Appreciation in order to recognize them and all of their hard work.
My husband's in healthcare, and so early on we started talking about the impact it was going to have on the healthcare workers. He's an administrator, so he's involved in making sure that they had enough safety equipment and planning for the overflow in the hospitals. And so he would share a lot about how it was going for those frontline workers, and it just didn't sound great. So we started talking about, we couldn't provide safety equipment, but Parker came up with the idea to at least recognize them and thank them. I think she was looking for a way that wouldn't cost a lot of money. She wouldn't have to ask for donations. So this was just a good way for her to feel like she was doing something, but just by showing gratitude to the healthcare workers.
So I sent out originally a mass email to this entire neighborhood, Meadowood, Browning, and surrounding areas. My mom helped me by sending out the same email on a bunch of websites like Nextdoor Neighbor, and I tied a ribbon on that lamppost right there, and we put a box out by the mailbox, and we said, if you want a ribbon, you can come and get one, or if you send me your address, I will come and deliver one to you and put it in your mailbox, or I'll tie it on a tree or a lamppost for you. And that's how we got the word out. And once we did that for those people started telling other people, and so on and so forth. I sent out my first email on April 9th, so it's almost been a month, a little over a month. So 500 plus ribbons in just about a month.
The email, I went back to it and what Parker had written and what she was trying to do and the movement she was trying to create to thank all the frontline workers. I just thought it was amazing. And I immediately emailed her, and she came over to my house, I think half an hour later, and put up a ribbon around my lamppost. And then I feel like it spread on my side of the neighborhood. I started driving outside of our neighborhood and seeing more ribbons. I was walking the Radnor Trail. I saw the sign. And it's just a really special thing that's so easy for us to do. I think some people are trying to make masks. Some people are trying to deliver food. And what Parker was trying to put out there was really anyone could do it.
It was nice to see at a time that is so stressful. The end of your junior year is traditionally so difficult. So I'm proud that she thought to go there even when she really should be focusing so much on herself and her studies and that sort of thing. But she tends to be that kind of kid, and it's nice that she stepped up. It's nice to see her step up even when things are hard for her. She's still thinking about other people.
It's definitely been a little complicated, especially with, school and AP exams and all of that. Like, I have to keep up with that as much as I have to, read through my emails and check posts and join Facebook groups and all of that. But one of the things that really drives me to do it is the response that I get from people. I have, family members of doctors and nurses telling me how much it means to them. One of my neighbors wrote me a letter and sent it to me. I get, posts from people saying how much they appreciate it. And, that is kind of really what helps drive the project, is seeing the impact that it has on so many.
Well, initially she reached out to Villanova to ask if she could hang ribbons there, because that would make such an impact since they're right there on Lancaster. And they were open to having Parker tie the ribbons all along Lancaster Avenue. So that was great. They have a ribbon in front of the School of Nursing. While there's no students there right now, there are people walking through there all the time. And then also last weekend, I think must have been graduation, because you would see so many students in cap and gown alone getting a picture taken, I guess, with their parents. But they've been supportive. And then Mainline Health has been extremely supportive. They requested lawn signs for each of their hospitals, the rehab and at the corporate center, and ribbons, and they've tied them. And there's been so much response from the Mainline Health community and so much engagement with the project that's been really nice. And it really feels like you're getting to those frontline workers.
Well, I think it's uniting, and I think the red is such a visible color. I just think it's very supportive, because having a doctor husband who goes in. I mean, he's, there's a lot of anxiety right now. And it's just sort of a reminder that people are thinking about them and supporting them.
It's honestly pretty crazy because some of them, like, I expect to see ribbons around here, and I expect to see ribbons when I'm walking through neighborhoods that, I've known that I've delivered them to. But just the other day, there was a woman who was affected by COVID, and she had been in the hospital for a really long time, and she apparently was just released back home. And my mom and sister and I were driving through that neighborhood. We didn't know that any of this was happening, and they had ribbons and red balloons lining the entire street, all preparing for her to come back home because she was returning from the hospital that day. And they had used the red ribbons and the logo and the yard signs and lined their entire neighborhood with it in order to welcome her home. So that, I think, was one of the biggest moments when I realized, wow, people are really paying attention to this and it's making an impact.
I think that she can go really far with this, is depending on how far her reach is. I mean, she's already affected so many areas just in the main line area, and being 17 and having this idea and kind of spinning it and doing it all on her own, I think she can do a lot with it.